We're up at the lake. There's Holt Dam, and we are currently just finished to pick. The sun has set, but it's not twilight yet. And we are reading from our books that we've been writing in. Write a story. We will be talking about the last two stories that were in this book. The last ones are the ones that we just wrote.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth's going to write the last time we did this.
Write the story, A Family Mystery Uncovered. Curiosity is how my adventure began, a secret almost lost to the memory of time. I had the mysterious demand placed on me to uncover. I had the mysterious demand. The secret was not for the faint of heart. Once known, it would be as isolating as a shipwreck survivor on an island, having the knowledge and the pleasure of living, yet trapped in the reality he was still trapped on the island. My sister's room had been vacant for some time, and the wallpaper had started peeling from the many months of summer humidity that had found its way past the window frames. I would sometimes go in there and sit on her bed, imagining her back in her glory days of running. She was a runner, you see. She had run in many competitions, many of them being long-distance marathons. Long-distance marathons, and won. My sister was amazing. The only thing that wasn't amazing was how she decided to run off and elope with some guy from Norway at the end of last year. I hadn't been the most involved sibling. I hardly cared to get involved with her business, mostly because she would have my toes if I knew anything about her. She didn't want me to.
For that reason. That's not even a word. What? Have my toes is just all your brain.
No, yeah. For that reason, I never snooped around her room for very long. Until one Sunday afternoon, I had gone into her room for yet another trip down memory lane. When you know that curiosity I mentioned earlier, well, it tripped me up. One of my sister's notebooks was lying open. My mom had gone through her things, but I never dared to swap my ignorance of my sister's personal feelings for something deeper. I took a peek at the page, opened, and all I had to read was the date of the last entry to make me gasp. It was today's date.
Now, Elizabeth, explain yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of going with it. It's kind of like a weak mystery, but basically her sister, like a track star, right? She ends up getting it, like, eloped with this guy, and, like, she's gone. Like, they think that she's gone, and she's, like, eloped with this man. Turns out her sister had just been living in her room somehow that whole time. Like, she hadn't actually, like,
run away with this guy.
Oh, she definitely got married to him, but I don't know. She's still living in that house.
Well, you can definitely tell that you've read more books than me. Just in the way you write.
Well, there's a lot more metaphors. That one's not as, I don't know. My plots aren't as interesting as yours, to be honest.
It was a Sunday. A very strange Sunday at that. It seemed like any other Sunday that the family of Nantucket could ask for, but something just wasn't right. There was a sense of mystery in the air. The family lived in a swamp. Unusual, maybe, but that's not what's unusual about this story. This family had a family mystery that had yet to be solved. Going way back into the history of this family, there was a story about a secret hidden notebook that a sister from the early family buried on an island somewhere in the surrounding islands of the swamp. This notebook is said to unlock a family secret even bigger than the mystery of the notebook itself. On this Sunday, one of the Nantucket little girls was collapsed on the couch after what she said felt like running a marathon. But in reality, it was only half a mile. As she started to come out of her exhaustion, she found herself staring at the wallpaper on the ceiling. She found it strange enough for there to have been wallpaper on the ceiling at all, but As she started to look more in depth at it, something sparked her curiosity. Standing up on the couch, she brought her face closer to the ceiling. The wallpaper consisted of many repeated circles and lines. Surrounding these circles, there were words that the little Nantucket girl could only think were gibberish. Upon looking closer, on one of the circles had the words written around it, "Upon an island is my notebook, the notebook that reveals the Nantucket's ultimate family mystery. This wallpaper will be your guide." The girl's eyes grew wide with excitement. Not knowing exactly what the last part meant, she managed to to find something taller to stand on, and found a part of the wallpaper that was starting to peel off, and she started to pull. After a loud rip, the girl's mother walks in and demands to know what was going on.
I love how it was like, here's your guide. It's just like no other details, but it's buried on an island somewhere, and the family mystery is on this. Yeah.
Well, right, Yeah. Well, it's on the back side of the wallpaper, so you rip it off and there's a map.
That makes more sense. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
Okay, so this last one is called Drama in and Out of the Lab.
You have to include the word microbiologist, telephone, hidden, bystander, trench, inside, international, shoe, heights, and persuade. Go for it.
The telephone rang loudly from the place Susan had left it the night before. After conducting research late into the night on the International Space Station, her tired mind and body would not be persuaded to put the telephone back in its rightful place. It could only have enough cognitive coordination to make it back to her shoe NASA liked to call a bed. Susan, having been awake inside her cubby since the shades that simulated the natural human sleep and wake cycle had risen from their upside-down trench in the ceiling. On the other line was a loud voice that any microbiologist studying the growth of small animals called protozoan would confuse with one of her specimens.
"Susan, we have a problem. You're out of time to find the cure to this protozoan infection plaguing humanity. The heights of space may make you feel secure, but the rest of humanity isn't so lucky."
"Sir?" Susan, shocked by her administrator's tone and news, muttered. What am I to do if I find the cure? I was sent to space nearly 2 days ago. Unless you have a hidden key that cracks this code, I need more time."
"We're sending you back down. Return the gate launcher X-230 by 1200 hours this evening for immediate return and ditch of this mission."
Susan ended the phone call. There were no bystanders to validate the research and process she had made while on the ISS, but she had no other choice but to abandon ship back to her dying planet without help in her back pocket. My only commentary is, why would they send a microbiologist to space? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever.
What made you think of space?
International. I had to use international.
International
Space Station. And I was like, okay, I guess space is a cool, setting, and I didn't really think about microbiologists, not you don't find bio in space and living in things in space.
Well, I mean, you're trying to find a cure, maybe.
Yeah, but like the effect of no, you could do that. You could simulate that in a lab. Like the effect of gravity on life. I don't know. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to put the whole of Earth in the atmosphere of the space, and that'll kill everyone anyway.
That's very depressing.
Yeah, I didn't know that was how it was going.
Okay. My story. So this microbiologist, am I right? All he ever does is stay inside his lab all day. Every time I try to invite him out somewhere, something goes wrong. Scratch that. There always seems to be something wrong with him. So this last time, it was really the last straw for me. I called him on the telephone and persuade him to come out to the International Convention of Jumpers. at this convention, people from all around the world come to bungee drop off this cliff, right? I swear, I explained this to him, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, we get there and get out of the car and go through the entrance. There's this railing, probably 6 feet from the edge of the trench, like ravine. I'm looking at this thing, right? I'm in like complete awe, like complete gobsmacked. This microbiologist Ronnie is staring with his mouth open wide too. We are just the biggest awe. So we go and wait in this line to bungee jump into this ravine. We waited for 2 hours, and then we finally got to the top of the line. Ronnie looks down and has the audacity to say, "Hey man, I'm actually afraid of heights." I look at the bystander and roll my eyes, and Fred gets interrupted. Hey, what are you talking about, Fred?
Phone, Padre.
I know, I'm filming.
I know, but it stopped.
No, it didn't. It's still going.
Maybe they can't hear us.
Sorry. Really important stuff. Well, anyways, okay. Hey, what are you talking about, Fred? Ronnie gets interrupted in the midst of his story. I take a lunch break for 5 minutes to fix my shoe that got something spilled on it, and you already have stories? You're already telling stories to the new intern? He turns and looks at Fred again. Fred. You're the microbiologist. I'm the chemist. He laughed, annoyed. How long do you think that could have stayed hidden? You were the one that was afraid of heights. You get it? So Fred is the guy that was telling the story about Ronnie, but Ronnie is really the chemist, and Fred is the microbiologist. So he just swapped the two.
I like how you're still talking like your story that was really. So this is really what happened.
You know, Ronnie.
Dang, Ronnie. That was funny.
Well, we'll see if we continue these stories. You know,
Yeah.
write the story. You know, we'll make a vlog.
A vlog.
We'll make a vlog of these stories that we write every single time, and we'll actually read them the first time we read them to each other, so we can have real reactions.
Mm-hmm.
This is original content.
Mm.
Struble twins out.
Yeah.